Callan, John, an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming.
Hello. Nice to be here. Hello. You started without me.
I'm afraid so. I've got to go. We've got a schedule to keep, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
sorry.
busy down the other end with the world press.
There you go. I'm sure it was. I'm sure they were absolutely bowled over by what you had to offer.
No, I think they're still asleep now.
Yeah.
We were discussing who was the troublemakers and who was the jokers on
Well,
set.
you said Martin Freeman.
Oh, yeah, he was frightful. He was just frightful. Horrible man. And the filthiest tongue on any human being I've ever come across. Loved him. Yeah.
Yeah, nice man.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We actually there were times that everybody had a moment where you fell about with something that they were doing. Peter used to get really giggly, didn't he? The weirdest of
Peter
things.
Jackson,
Yeah,
yeah.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
That would happen, and he loved it. He called us his little bastards, which basically we got a T-shirt, we got a sweatshirt that has the line of the dwarves on the back, and it's got little bastards.
Yeah. I'm a little bastard.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. He actually, I think, had probably got the biggest sense of fun of all of us.
Yeah.
And the first example came when we had a read-through, and we'd set aside a morning for this, and we all gathered in a sound studio, to have the read-through. You did a very, very good Schmeagol.
Yeah, it
Very
was
good,
funny, isn't it? I had to read an ad.
Oh, here's Adam as well. How wide is your wide lens there?
I keep moving.
You're moving back
very
beautifully,
slender,
Kate.
so it's
Kate,
like,
how
yeah.
wonderful. I've never seen anybody move back so beautifully.
Adam Brown, pleased to meet you, sir.
Nice
Pleasure.
to meet you.
Thank you very
How
much.
you doing?
Thanks for coming on this
Hello.
morning.
And you are?
Johnson.
Okay.
Right.
And this is Brown.
Thank you.
When you go to these cons, does it feel like just a meeting of the clan, does it?
Oh, it's like
Oh, it's brilliant.
nice.
It's
brilliant.
brilliant.
This one in particular in Bonn.
HobbitCon,
We've done a number of other conventions, Australia, New Zealand, Scotland, Wales. Some people have been to America. This one is specifically The Hobbit, and so there's more of us together. And suddenly we find the naughty boy element coming back in. Just check one or two
There's
for
no
the
escaping
for the
these
state
guys,
of their heads this morning.
It's like being back at school, really.
Which character do you think actually was closest to their personality of all the actors that were there?
I think we've all got a bit of our characters
Yeah,
in us, right?
Yeah, I agree. The wonderful thing about, well, for instance, if you go and see Hamlet, you know full well that if you go and see Ian McKellen playing Hamlet, it's going to be a very different Hamlet from going to see Mark Hadlow play it. So every actor puts themselves or parts of themselves into what they're playing, you know. I don't know, Stephen.
I think, well, yeah, but I actually think Thorin. I think Richard Armitage. I mean, if you think about it from the perspective of the serious side of Richard and the leadership side of Richard, he's very much like that in real life, isn't he? Very astute and very focused. Yeah. I actually think
but
that's...
Thorin doesn't play the cello though, does he?
No, he doesn't need to,
Yeah, but
because he can just tell someone to play it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, isn't he?
all right.
Yeah.
And I have never dropped a baby on its head. Never. Well, nearly. But no, never.
Not quite sure what... Yeah.
With your characters, I find it very interesting because I know you work in theatre and you're particularly in comedy and theatre, but you play the grumpiest dwarf.
Well, I did, but he was grumpy at the start, and he's grumpy because of what these two do, not John, but what the other two brothers do. I mean, Nori, played by Jed Brophy, is always trying to lead him astray, and it's really important that we remain, that we are, we're middle class. We can't go, doing off what the common people do. We've got to have a certain,
Je ne sais
je ne
quoi.
sais quoi to who we are. And if Jed is going to take Adam away, and this is in real life as well, I get very worried about him in real life, being taken off by Jed and shown a real dodgy part of life. So it's really important that's very important to me. I can't help but be grumpy, because it's like having a little brother that you just want to shake and just, please, just do as I say and as I do, not follow what Jed's doing, because Jed's just a total,
Yeah, he's very self-seeking,
yes,
very selfish.
Sinvitis
person.
stance. He's
Yeah.
got bloody Sinvitis stance, and I don't want you to have that.
Sorry.
Okay, you do very well, I know, and it's hard for him because
Look, I actually think Peter Hamilton's character was the grumpiest of them all. Can you feel the cushions on this sofa
they're
sliding?
sliding. Yes, it's very good, isn't it? It's very good.
Where are we going?
Yeah, okay.
Help!
This is a very laid back interview, but that's too much.
Wowzers.
Right.
Pushing.
Up your end.
Yeah, there we go.
Fine.
There we go.
There we go.
Now focus.
You'll be all out of focus
Kate's
now,
gonna
won't
have
you?
to come in and do the focus
She turned the
and-
camera off. I don't blame her.
She stopped filming 10 minutes ago.
Bastard.
No, Peter Hamilton's character is really grumpy, and that's because Gloyn in particular, Owen as well, but Gloyn in particular has got an awful lot of money in the venture, and Peter Hamilton himself is really a grumpy bastard, isn't he?
I mean, he
really,
is.
you know,
I mean, he's.
you've only got to look at him walk in the room, and you go, oh shit. Yeah.
I mean, one of the things about being grumpy is that's far more interesting than just being smiling and excited all the time. I mean, you know, what's going on inside that head? It's much more enjoyable. That's why people can't work Peter Hamilton out.
No,
How
not
did
even
you-
Peter
how-
Hamilton.
How did you feel walking on stage yesterday?
Very nice. Yeah, it's lovely.
You seemed a bit cut up. There was a couple of hours, I was actually on stage myself, so I was only a few feet away, and I was watching. There was a couple of the guys who were going, "What's going on here?" The
Yeah,
adoration you had was just superb.
Sorry?
It was so beautiful. The adoration that you, particularly your character had.
Oh, thank you.
It just seemed that you got such a, standing ovation almost. It was
Thanks.
beautiful to see.
And it's odd because, you know, for us this journey ended when we finished in New Zealand, and which is, you know, almost over a year ago.
And we
Wow.
keep being reattached
So
to
now
it.
you come back and you go, you know, this journey hasn't stopped. You know, it's going to keep going, and hopefully it keep going for the rest of our lives, because these movies will stay. But you know, because we did a job in New Zealand, and then we finished the job, and then you come out to a great response like yesterday, and you just go, crikey, people really, really liked what we did, and they liked our work, and that's pretty special, you know, especially 2.5 years down in New Zealand, pretty much, but for it not to be forgotten and everyone to still be in love with it is great.
When you first started to work with this film, did you have anticipation of this happening, or because it doesn't seem to happen in any other genre? There doesn't seem to be any, the action movies. They don't have this to this extent. Have it in sci-fi, perhaps.
For me, I had worked with all the other New Zealanders except Stephen Hunter, and Jed Brophy had been, I think he played about 6 or 7 different characters through The Lord of the Rings. So he had an idea about the convention circuit, and he gave me a few pointers. One of them was quite amusing. He said, you do realise, John, that there will be a knock on your room door at some stage. Yes, yes. He said, and somebody will be outside. Yes, yes. And they will go like this. He said, shut the door again. So we got lots of advice about what was going on at the conventions, and I can tell you now, I have had so many knocks on my doors, and it hasn't happened.
What did your wife say to you?
My wife said, hey, John, you go for it. So if you want to, you go for it.
She didn't. No, she didn't.
She
I know
did.
Jude.
She said, you go for it,
yeah.
but when you get home, the locks will all be
Yeah,
changed.
and you'll be on your own. But no, I think one of the most important things for me is actually the chaps.
Yeah.
And as John said, I've worked with all of the New Zealanders before, and our relationship goes back 25 years. We've worked with each other for a long time, and so I think that's probably really that touches me every time. To think that we looked after each other, and to then have met Adam for the first time too. He's become like a part of our family anyway. I don't mean family in the film, I mean my own personal family. My wife Jane and my daughter Sarah regard Adam as a part of our family. And I love him. He's amazing. So, and this man here, and Jed, the boys are so important to me. Seriously.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
It is. I'm not just making this up for the film. These are the important aspects of this all the way through, and the other guys are equally important within the aspects of the film. But there's a part of my life that will always be attached to these gentlemen.